Happy Saturday, dear family. I hope you guys are all very, very well. I'm very excited for another day, another conversation with a dear friend from across the globe. As you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm really excited for this fantastic conversation. It's going to be definitely one that's going to be diving deep into the world of sacred pilgrimage, of speaking about Bhakti, Kirtan, and everything in between. And it's with a dear friend of mine who's currently staying in the States, but he has spent a lot of time in a sacred place, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with him. His name is Kirtan Premi, and he has joined the conversation, so I'm going to add him in here just now. You know where you're tuning in from. It's so wonderful to see you all here. Hey, Haribo, how's it going?
Hari. Hey.
So good to see you.
Hey. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, how are you?
Can you hear me clearly? Because I
Really
put headphones on.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, very clearly.
Fantastic. Now, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us, for being with us, for spending time with us. I know that, there's so many things that we could be doing to spend our time in this solitude, but for you to spend time with us, sharing about Bhakti, sharing about Kirtan, I think it's going to be a fantastic conversation. For those of you that don't know Kirtan Premi, he's a dear friend who's been practicing Bhakti Yoga for many, many years. He's been sharing Kirtan in a sacred place called Vrindavan and globally in international festivals, Kirtan festivals. But most notably, I really appreciate him because of one instance, which I don't know if he remembers or not. But the first time I went to Vrindavan, which is a sacred place in India, the night that I was there was probably the most busy night you're going to get in Vrindavan. And while I was there, I was looking at this very small space where a lot of the Kirtan family had kind of come together, and there was no space to sit. And while I was looking at this space, I was like, oh, maybe I should just give up and, just stand somewhere in the corner. But I distinctly remember Kirtan Premi, he just caught eyes with me and he said, hey, no, just come, we'll make space. And, he squeezed me in. And if I'm remembering correctly, he even got up at one point and made the space for me. And at that point, I thought, this is someone who really has care for those who are coming to a spiritual place on a pilgrimage. And so on that note, I just wanted to introduce you on that point, because facts and figures and all that is really interesting, but a personal introduction really means the world. So I wanted to thank you for that, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just Vrindavan is such a it's a familiar place for me, and it's also like Vrindavan is such a beautiful place for people who are searching, and we are there 24/7. We are always there. So when people who come from outside, and I can see what they want, so I think I remember it a little bit. I saw that you really wanted to be in there, and for me this is a day in, day out kind of thing. So I was like, why not?
Wow.
Share it with someone.
Sure.
So that's why I really wanted to share the moment,
Yeah,
so,
for sure. No, it was really beautiful. And I think it really speaks volumes on someone's character when they can share something which is dear to them. Because I know, of course, like that temple space in Vrindavan, which we're both talking about, is very dear to both of us. And it's a space where you want to be able to receive as much as you can. But this is a secret, actually, which you shared, which is that in giving, we receive. It's not about trying to just grab all the blessings that are coming our way, but rather in giving opportunities to others. This is the way in which we can receive. And I see this is a trait of yours that, I see quite commonly, even like with the younger, boys who are in the ashram, staying there in the Kirtan ashram, you're giving them so many opportunities. Has it been something since a young age that, parents perhaps taught you this value, or was there any lesson that you learned from previously, or a guru or someone?
Well, I think I learned from not receiving. So sometimes you learn things positively, and sometimes you learn things negatively. I, as a youth growing up in Bombay, didn't receive that much of an attention, which I got encouraged a lot from people, but as when you were very young, like I remember my time when, like I was, I might have been 10 years old, and like I did my first kirtan in the morning, 4:30, and I sang the Narsimha prayers, and the devotees were so happy. I was 10 years old, and at that age, you have to remember the words, what you say. You're so nervous. And they were so happy. They got a garland. But as you grow up, the opportunities become lesser and lesser.
Yeah.
I feel that we expect a lot from the youth. We help a lot, encourage the younger generation. But as the kids go to a teen and they start behaving in such a way, people don't connect with them that much. That's why we always say teenage ages are like somewhat like it's like trouble.
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward. Kids are awkward, and the seniors are so. But there were times when people really connected to me, but there was a lot of times when people did not connect to me, and because of that, not getting the encouragement. I see to that I want to give it forward in that way, that I see that maybe somebody can learn from me from negativity, but somebody might not be able to learn from negativity.
And
I totally agree. And then what? Because then that the person goes on a wrong path, and your single moment could have changed his entire life.
Completely.
So, and also as I grew, I got really good encouragement from a lot of senior devotees who I didn't see potential in myself. They saw the potential in me and encouraged me. Like Aindra Prabhu, like Sachinandan Swami, like Loknath Swami, encouraging to play the instrument or sing with them. So in a way, so that was good later in time, but initially it was hard getting the encouragement.
I mean, the 2 points that really struck me from what you were saying, one is that sometimes we personally need to go through something which doesn't sound very roses and beautiful, that we need to be discouraged in order to value encouragement. We need to be sometimes, and I also remember going through something very similar, and that does make me not always, but I'm more conscious when someone's being put to the back, or someone is being ignored, or like that. And I think it's so important that we, like you're saying, not just see that moments of blessings are lessons, but also moments of pain in one sense. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And the second thing which I really took away was about this point of seeing that also it is a responsibility of everyone who is a bhakti yogi, who is a practicing a practicing spiritualist, that we should be trying to encourage people, even if we weren't encouraged, even if we were encouraged. That encouragement is so powerful, especially when someone's older than you, or someone like looks up to you. Then it almost falls on your shoulders to be a role model or a source of encouragement for people. So thanks for sharing. I mean, was your path always destined to go down this bhakti route? Were you I know that you were perhaps born in the bhakti yoga tradition, but kirtan, was it always a thing? Like your parents are also singers, or also keen on sharing kirtan? Were they also like that, or where did this whole relationship with kirtan start for you?
So like more like my hereditary of kirtan, I just started to it started to reveal, and I come to know about that. But before, like, because growing up in the movement, I grew up in Juhu in Bombay, in the temple complex, and I grew up, my parents are devotees, part of the temple, and they follow the whole bhakti system in the temple. And so, but as I grew up, I don't know, I always felt like an individual that have to choose my own path rather than being force-fed something that I don't understand.
Totally.
Well, it happens with a lot of people when they are not understanding the mood or the motive of why you do things. And it happens usually in this Hindu society. And you see that many of the young kids, they learn to do things like touching their parents' feet, or or the woman is covering the head. but they don't know why.
Why? Yeah.
They never question. And the first shloka of the Vedas is Arthato Brahma Jigyasa, is to ask questions. So when you tell me to ask questions and be individual and decide what I want to do, so that was as I grew up, I wanted to. I think it was my past life karma that I always was very rigid at what I wanted to be, and I always loved music. Music and arts was like my passion.
Beautiful.
I grew up in Bombay, so we had hardcore, like rock, metal, that culture. And I used to go for concerts, but at the same time, because I've been grown up in the Bhakti system, I always wanted to give back something to it's like giving back to it. So for that reasons, I always wanted to integrate my rock scene into Krishna consciousness. And I was very influenced with Raghunath Yogi and his 108 band, 108 band.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to his tracks and I loved it, so, and I even, when I met him, I told him that I really loved what you did. You inspired me a lot at that age.
Wow.
So with a few friends, I wanted to form a band and,
wow,
go
I didn't know this. This is a new side of Kirtan Premi I didn't know about. The hardcore rock metal.
My history is not known much, I don't get to speak about it.
Sure.
So
no,
so that so that's what I was wanted to do that. I wanted to get a drum, but we were not a very rich family people, and also, get a drum set in the house. You know what happens,
Too much
and
noise.
like a 1 BHK house, a 1 bedroom hall kitchen house, and you get a drum set in there. So my father was not really into that. So I didn't get encouragement in doing that, but slowly, but I was doing all the other kirtan, like we had really good kirtaniyas in our temple. So I think I got more of the musical aspect of kirtan during those days. And as I started to, I didn't, like, it was more like music. It was like somewhat like, something I like to do.
Less spiritual and more about the music, right? At that point.
Yeah, it was more like my own, for my own ego, and I'm getting good at it. It was like, I'm, that kind of stuff,
Yeah. And that's important actually that you're mentioning that, because a lot of people think that it should be discouraged when younger generations feel inspired to take up kirtan because of the musical aspect. But I think that actually has some value. Like I remember very clearly when I first got interested, Sachinandana Swami, he was just really encouraging. He probably knew that there was no such kind of spiritual inclination. There was maybe a little bit, but mostly it was just because I like being in the scene and I like the music, etc., and I like the beats. And I think a lot of people do kind of get attracted to the kirtan scene because of that. Like, when we're presenting kirtan in London or anywhere in Europe, the drum is just so attracting, the cymbals, the harmonium, the droning vibration. And that is an entry point, and that shouldn't be discouraged as well. It's not that we end there, but at an entry point, I think that's important, not to discourage younger generations, to say, okay, look, if you like it, just keep doing it, like no problem. And then the spirituality and the depth will come just by staying with the process. And I've seen that so much, even in the young generation now, we see it coming up.
Yeah. I just feel that also it just creates a dialogue. And when you see, that's what over the period of time, because that was the kind of thing that I went through. And then because of Aindra Prabhu, I could really, but there was some feeling of not satisfaction, because, you go to a level, and after that, you're not satisfied because there is something that your body needs, your material body needs, but there is something that your soul needs. Maybe all your bodily happiness, you can get it from worldly material music. But when you do spiritual music, your soul is still unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know, because I felt that from the journey of George Harrison. His hunger for true music. He always looked for something pure.
Right.
And that's why he came into spiritualism and Krishna consciousness and, you know, Prabhupada and yogis, and he questioned. And so anyway, so means, you know, you don't plan it, but now that you are at this point, you can see that, yeah, there was some decisions that were going on.
Completely.
And then I came to Vrindavan, which is the you know, the holy city of
the Bhakti capital of the world.
Yeah, Bhakti capital of the world. So when I came to Vrindavan, and I got encouraged by His Grace Aindra Prabhu, who started the 24-hour Kirtan, which is a program which goes 24/7. You came and you sat over there.
Even now.
Yeah.
During Corona time, still going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
33 years we have completed that. So it's amazing to go over there and learn more about Kirtan, how Kirtan is selfless. It's not for your own happiness. How, you know, we learned so many more things. How Kirtan is like, it's for the pleasure of the deities. It's not for your own sense gratification. It is not for, like, you know, many times Kirtan has been taken in very, very wrong forms by many different people, you know, and that is their journey, you know.
Yeah, completely.
But I really got encouraged by Aindra Prabhu, and he showed me much more subtle but beautiful part of Kirtan, and that really hooked me to just practicing it and trying to find a purity in it. So, like,
I'm really looking forward to now delving into who is Aindra Prabhu, what is Vrindavan. I'm really looking forward to it, but I want to give some shout outs before we do that. And I really want to appreciate everyone that's watching right now. Thank you so much for giving your time, for being here. To Darpan, Dhruvasaurus, Jay Shri, thank you so much. Magnita, Gaurav, good to see you here. Donnie, good to see you. Rishi, thank you so much for joining. Govindas, wonderful to have you here. Chintanya Chintamani, thank you for joining. Prashant, I hope you're well. It's good to have a fellow brother here, Vrindavan brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's so wonderful to see all of you in this conversation. If you have any questions for Kirtan Premi regarding Kirtan, regarding Vrindavan, which we're going to discuss a little bit now, or anything to do with this person who we're going to speak about very soon as well, Aindra Prabhu, who was a propagator for this 24-hour Kirtan in Vrindavan. He started this initiative of chanting 24 hours a day Kirtan in the temple room of Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan. So if you have any questions that are coming to mind regarding this, drop them in the comments. If you have any encouragement for Kirtan Premi, please also drop that in the comments. We'd love to see some thoughts and questions. I want to, obviously now let's dive into Vrindavan and Aindra Prabhu as a central figure for many of the people, or many of our generation who came through this Kirtan scene. Do you want to maybe describe a little bit about your experience in Vrindavan, why you feel maybe it's important for other people to visit Vrindavan? Why is Vrindavan considered such a holy place?
See, I always, like with Vrindavan, I remember a comment when I went to South Africa and I did a kirtan over there with a Bhakti group, you know, a yoga group, sorry. And then this person, she came to Vrindavan and she was just like, she said, I just been there, but she said, it was a beautiful place. It's such a nice place. The only thing is it's very dirty. So she said that. And, I actually didn't take much offense, but I remember what I thought at that moment. And I said that many people come to Vrindavan or come to India. If you're looking for same setting as what you see in the cities, then it's better to stay in cities. Then don't, you know, there is much more deeper. When you see these small things, you miss out on the bigger picture of what Vrindavan is. And I just feel that Vrindavan is that place which is very hidden. It is not very revealed to everybody. It takes time. I know it is very difficult when people first come to Vrindavan to see its beauty. And it took me a long time with the weather conditions, with the, with the people. Factor. Yeah. Oh, the way people talk to you, the way people behave with you. It really takes what do you call a test. Like it's a testing ground. What is your real motive to come here?
Sure.
And if your true motive is there, you will stay there and never leave, which is what Aindra Prabhu really wanted. But if your true motive is to enjoy the place, then you can't. So in a way, Vrindavan is the center of the universe. Wow. with the Radha Kund and Shyam Kund and the Govardhan and these other places where Krishna he did all his pastimes. So his cowherd Leela, and so that's the place. And not only that, many I would say we call them acharyas or people who show the way. They are people who are not uneducated. They are fully educated in the Shastra. They know ins and out of the Vedic knowledge. They know what yoga is. They know. And these are the people, they write and they glorify this land to be the center of the universe. Not me. I'm not saying that. I have no qualification to say that. But these are the people who say that's the center of the universe. This is the place. So it's got a lot of spiritual energy, and Vrindavan is not different from. Vrindavan is Lord Krishna's birthplace. It is his home, which is So a lot of people come to Vrindavan for spirituality, and we have so many beautiful places with many beautiful pastimes too. And every pastime signifies a beauty of, it's a lesson. Everything that Krishna is teaching, like the killing of Kaliya demon, which is a snake. And if you see a picture of Krishna standing on a big snake and jumping on the hoods and dancing, it's in the acharyas, they mention that as ego, your ahankar. So he's arrogant. So that's how this different pastimes also signifies different feelings, different, And so in a way, Vrindavan cleanses your heart if you meditate on the different pastimes of Krishna.
So that's such a nice way of talking about it. To see it as a place where you can cleanse yourself of all these desires, a place where if you are conscious, if you're aware of why this place and what the symbolic idea of behind different demonic characters and Krishna liberating each of them and sharing with the devotees of Vrindavan, the place is just filled with love around every corner. But like you said, you need to kind of peer behind the layer of external covering. You need to get past the dust and past the wrappers here and there and the India factor, etc., etc. And I think that anything, and this is something which is a contemporary quote, but anything that's worth doing is not usually fruitful immediately. Anything that's worth discovering is not, mind my language, prostituted openly. You need to first, really spend time there. You need to try and understand the relevance of the place. You need to understand how you can serve in that place, serve the residents in that place. And that way things get revealed to you through that seva, through that service. It's such a magical, it's a place which I know that many people who are either watching this live or are going to watch this have been to. And I know that one of the most central figures when it comes to a lot of the young generation in the Bhakti movement, in the Hare Krishna movement, who are now in the Kirtan scene, a lot of them got inspired by this figure whose name is Aindra Prabhu. Maybe you want to share a little bit about your meeting with him, how he inspired you, and his ongoing legacy, perhaps something in and around that.
So Aindra Prabhu, at first, before I came to Vrindavan, I heard his album, which is Rajbilas, in Bombay. And I was very, very attracted. Like I said, I was musically like into all the music aspect of it. And,
Right.
and then I was very attracted to that style. And it was beautiful. Like, and I always thought that was some Indian guy singing over there.
Right. When you hear him for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that, So, and I was so much like, I love that track so much, that albums, that I went to find the place which had the only track that the album, and I stole those albums. I even told him, because I didn't have a way to get any of that, so any of those days were really wild days for me, teenage days. But yeah, when I went to Vrindavan, I started going since 2002, 3, 4, 5, but still, like I said, you don't connect to the land. You get so pulled up with all the exterior things of Vrindavan. You have to. That's the thing. Vrindavan is not revealed to people that easily. You have to really come there with a good mood, and humbly, when you come, it reveals up the place. So for 2003, 4, 5, 6, I didn't even meet that person.
Wow.
The person I really loved to listen to, and I was so inspired by. And it was a very wild days for me, those days, and because Vrindavan also had a lot of drugs. And so I really got into that scene. So I never saw the real Vrindavan for 4 or 5 years that I was going to Vrindavan. And I feel disappointed that why didn't I take that opportunity?
Of course.
And until I came in 2008, that's when I was beaten down properly from Bombay. It's a whole story. Someday, if I get a chance, I will sit and talk to you and tell you.
I'm looking forward to it.
I was really beaten down from Bombay, and that happened, and that made me more serious to do my devotional life, more serious. And I did so I did my intense like bhajan, and that opened up Vrindavan for me. My parents had built a new place, so I moved to Vrindavan, and then I met Aindra Prabhu, and we met, and then after some time he just saw, like, because at that time even Amal Harinam Prabhu and Nakula was also, and then Surariya Prabhu. So there 3 of them were in the ashram, my age group boys. So then I used to go and sit and sing with them. Then Aindra Prabhu saw that, he sings also. So in a way, he started encouraging.
Yeah.
So that's why he really encouraged me into coming into Kirtan. I'm very grateful for who I am is him. Otherwise, I don't have an identity. So he was a person. This is a personal experience I had with him, and Vrindavan, like I said, doesn't reveal so easily to everybody. This is a very common saying in Vrindavan. People always say that that you come and live in Vrindavan, and Radharani will take care of you. And because Vrindavan is known as the land for Radharani. Radharani is most compassionate, the most merciful. And she will take care of you. And they always say this, and all Brajvasis, Brajvasi mean people from Vrindavan, they are Brajvasis. And they say, Radharani will take care of you. Why worry? Why do you worry about all this? And I remember the time when I was in a relationship, and I was thinking of moving to the West somewhere, and get into the whole gears of material life and work hard and make money for my family and all this. And somehow the word went to Aindra Prabhu that I was planning on going. This desire was there. So he called me in and he gave me a lecture for a really long time.
Wow.
And he must have mentioned this same proverb or saying so many times, saying that you live in Vrindavan and Radharani will take care of you. And he said that so many times. But, you know, yeah, so I just heard him a couple of times and just 1 year took it out. You know, yeah, sure, but I have to do this. Sure, I have to do this. But and then there's some devotee, he walks into the conversation and knocks on the door, walks in, and he says, Aindra Prabhu, I really wanted to come like 2-3 days before, but because I couldn't, I was busy. Ghee. And yeah, my mother made this jar of ghee, so I would like to give it to your deities. And Aindra Prabhu is looking at me and he's smiling, beaming, smiling, and he's like, and I'm wondering what happened now, you know? And then he tells me that yesterday night I slept and my ghee finished. I had to get up in the morning, beg, borrow, steal, and it's provided. So that's the when you truly live Vrindavan, then you don't have to worry.
Where's
you know,
coming from?
when you truly, yeah, it's yeah.
The principle is so nice, that the things that you're sharing. Like, I just want to take some points away that, you know, I'm churning in my mind. One is that blessings flow in both directions, that we need to be looking for them first and foremost, that we need to be looking up for them, but also that through grace and through the blessings of and the mercy of those who are practicing deeply, we can receive blessings as well. If we're just submissive and we're just trying to look for them sincerely, then everything is provided for. And this concept of how, you know, in Vrindavan, it's so true. I think everyone that's been to Vrindavan, anyone that's watching this that's been there, will know that if you're looking for something there which is of sincere quality, then chances are you might not get it in the exact form that you wanted it, but it will come to you. It will somehow manifest in a mystical way. And it's just like you're saying, it's because Srimati Radharani is looking after everything in Vrindavan, and a mother looks after all of her children. So this principle is so powerful and so touching, actually, to hear from you. And I wanted to see, actually, because, you know, we're already, the time is just eating away. Instagram, just before you know it, it just snaps away. I wanted to see if you wanted to share with us perhaps a song or two, or a kirtan, or any mantras which you feel would really benefit us, with maybe something to do with Vrindavan, or anything that's inspiring you perhaps at the moment.
Okay, so this is a bhajan that I'm just gonna sing a few lines of it. It's a so because we are from a Gaudiya Vaishnav. Gaudiya Vaishnav means it's a kind of from Gauda Desh, which is the whole Bengal region, and so there's a lot of influence. Majorly the influence of Bengali influence, and partially my family is also from Bengal. So there is this beautiful bhajan which I put it on Instagram before, but I'm just gonna sing a few lines. That's it. I really didn't plan on singing something.
I'm so sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. So as we are on the meditation of Vrindavan, this is a beautiful bhajan, and in it, I'm just gonna say the translation is: "O dear one who belongs to Vrindavan, O darling son of Nanda Maharaj, O prince of the cowherd boys, kindly play again on your flute, so we may hear the melodies dear to all of your friends." Wow. And the next verse is, "O Gopal, since you left Vrindavan, the flower has lost their desire to bloom. Still we decorate the moonlight groves of Madhuvan, hoping you will return for your amorous rendezvous. So this is a beautiful bhajan, which is basically in a mood of separation, and that's the best mood that you can. And Aindra Prabhu was also very much influenced with that mood. Vipralamba is the happiness in separation, the pleasure in separation. So this is the separation melody. Bhajan. So I'm just gonna sing 2 verses, so that and it's a very yeah. I mean, so I kept the harmonium because I thought I would have to. Ore Vrindabaner Nando Dula Rakhali Raja re Rakhaliya Shure Shure Basi Bajare Rakhaliya Shure Shure Basi bajaye ore Vrindavane Ore Gopal tor bihone Phul na phute Vrindavane Abhisharer ei Madhuban Emni sajaye Rakhaliya Shure Shure Basi bajaye Rakhaliya Shure Shure Basi bajaye Ore Vrindavane. So it's such a beautiful bhajan. So I really love this bhajan, and it's like it's a way of remembering Krishna in separation, which is the topmost mood that you can tap into in Vrindavan. The mood in separation.
Yeah, it's true that things which are right in our hand immediately we don't appreciate them, but when it's lost from our hand, when we're separated from it, then we value its presence in our life. And so this mood of separation from God, from Krishna, it's the topmost mood of feeling that, where are you? Are you listening to me, my dear Lord? Are you hearing anything? Are you seeing me? Can I see you? Where are you hiding behind that bush? Where are you in my life? And so it's so
like My Sweet Lord.
Yeah, right.
It's like My Sweet Lord by George Harrison.
Yeah. I feel like it's a crime if I don't ask you to sing a little bit more. I think everyone's now going crazy now that they've heard you sing. I want to hear, like, Accessory Freaks, thank you so much for sharing. He is definitely singing so beautifully. And she says that has a Qawwali feel to it. Wow, your voice. For sure.
Yeah, I listen to a couple of Qawwali music so that, the influences there. To put it, influences are there, yeah. And also a lot of Bengali classical influences. I feel you want to give something different, something unique, something original from yourself. You have to make it on your own creativity.
Right.
So, so that's what we try to do. That's why, everybody has their own way of presenting something.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Completely. No, David, he's definitely singing Don't Worry, David. Yes, yes, yes. And also Radhi Sham is here. More and more. I'm sure it's coming.
Well, there's nothing better than singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Sure.
So I would, yeah. So, yeah, the mood of, I've been doing some of these virtual kirtans and more it's like really reflecting to go internal than going external, because you don't see the crowd. There's not much to connect with. And that's what I've been talking to people to, say, because with this whole global pandemic, Kirtan also, I got with this idea of like, please reciprocate to participate. When you reciprocate with like some visuals that I can see that, oh, there are hearts or there's like thumbs ups or something, then I know you are there, you're with me, because we're so used to connecting with the people.
Yeah, completely.
And so
let us know that you're here. And give us some encouragement.
So because in the end, what is this for? This is not for public pleasure. This is for the pleasure of the Lord, and that's how we get satisfied. Our soul gets satisfied. So we have 20 minutes. So for like 10 minutes.
10 minutes or so, and then we can see at the end. I have a surprise for everyone.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam,
Jai Radhe Shyam, Jai Radhe Shyam, Jai Radhe Shyam, Jai Radhe Shyam.
Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham,
Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jai, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, glories to your wonderful seva in serving through the kirtan and reminding us and bringing, anyway, for me, anyway, it brought me back to Vrindavan. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing that. And for everyone that's watching and also feeling the same, please do share some positive encouragement for our dear Kirtan Premi for his kind seva for sharing with us this evening. I wanted to see before we left you this for us this evening and for you today during the day, if you had any tips for our time, anything that you feel people would really benefit from hearing and something that they could practice on a daily basis that you feel was really impacting you personally, and that you'd like to share with everyone, a tip for our time.
Yeah, I would say, and this is because this is also part of my practice, and I'm trying to, and that's what I felt that Prabhupada called this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and consciousness is a very important aspect of our being conscious. And I feel that the tip I would tell is to be conscious in doing anything and everything that you do. May it be spiritual or material, be conscious in doing what you're doing. And like there's, with consciousness, you can know what you're doing positively or doing negatively, because you can self-introspect and see if you are doing, not in a, what do you call, in a sleep state, like in a when you're awake, you're alive. So one of the things I apply, and I think even Sachinandan Maharaj spoke about it, to be aware that you're chanting and hear and say, the whole call and response. And so it's very essential to listen to what you sing, and to also follow and listen to others what they sing back. So it's a very important to be conscious in doing that. And the same aspect goes for your own meditation, which is japa, to be conscious when you do that, because then you get a benefit, more benefit. And it was one of the questions that was always there, because, many times I posted it on my Facebook also with like people, chanting while doing kirtan and, mixing the two and all. And I got a lot of people writing such amazing pointers over there. And I would just share it forward with everybody that please, that be conscious in what you chant, or how you meditate is very important to, be every mantra, every time you chant it back. Then the exterior, this whole music aspect and all this, who is Radhika Das and who is Kirtan Premi, that disappears because you are connecting to the real meaning of that kirtan. Yes. The kirtan is to connect with the holy name, or the personality who is, we call Nam Prabhu. So to connect to Nam Prabhu, you have to really be conscious. Otherwise, it will just be Radhika Das's kirtan. It's going to be Kirtan Premi's kirtan. It's going to be Sachinandan Maharaj's kirtan, not the holy name. So you're missing out on the real meaning of it. So to apply that, that's my humble.
Be conscious, be aware, be alive to what you're chanting, as opposed to looking at the externals of who is chanting and the melody and the beats and who's sitting there, what are they wearing. Do I have, all these things are external, and maybe we need to go through a period of going through that, but let's bring ourselves to the essence, which is let's be conscious, let's be aware, let's be awake to the chanting. So such beautiful, such a great tip. And it's something that we, every one of our daily japa sessions, I know some of you guys that turn up there are listening right now, can attribute that we need to be conscious when we chant, we need to be aware, and at the same time, not being expectant, not being expecting or passionately trying to achieve something with the holy name, with chanting, but rather trying to be grateful receivers, just waiting, being patient, let things come as they're meant to come, as opposed to us trying to push something through. We can obviously put our best endeavor in, but not expecting a result.
Yeah.
Best endeavor.
Also, one of the things that I really wanted to also say was, this is one of I heard it many times from many places, but you know, because it's not in our line, but it is Vedic. The verse Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma amritam gamaya om shanti shanti shanti. So to receive peace in life, to go from, so you have to make the journey from asato ma satgamaya, to go from asat, from untruthfulness, to satya, to go towards the truth. So this material calls it through the real, the truthfulness of this material life. And so in the beginning, I was telling that to ask questions. So, you know, so then it says, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Tamas means ignorance. How can ignorance be diminished? It's by jyoti. Jyoti means light, or the light of knowledge. So get knowledge to know, not blindly follow. So asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya. So go towards, that's a journey. And mrityurma amritam gamaya. So from this cycle of birth, death, disease, old age, you know, the circle, go towards Amrit, and that's Kirtan Amrit. You know, this nectar is Amrit, nectar. Yeah, you can taste it. It's so, and I have not tasted it. I feel I've got a sample once, and that's what God does. He gives you a sample, and all your life you hanker for the real deal. Yeah. So and that's how you receive true peace in life. You know. So that's something I would like to leave everybody with, whoever watching.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sure whether it's live now or in the replay, there'll be many people that watch this and appreciate it. But I want to fold my hands and really deeply appreciate our dear Kirtan Premi Prabhu for spending his valuable time. He's got a little one, which we've all fallen in love with from the stories. So many people are messaging me throughout the day. You know, you sent the promotional video for this chat, and you had the baby there, and at that time people were like, "Oh,
he's
my God,
sleeping
so
right
cute."
now.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want to disturb, but we just want to obviously thank you for taking the time out to be with us and to share with us, and all the love is pouring through with lots of gratitude. And if there's anything that you're doing that, you know, people can connect with, please everyone follow at the Kirtanator. I put it in the comment section so you can see anything that he's doing that you maybe will be inspired to also join. We have our japa session that's happening every day at 1 p.m. So if you're inspired by learning how to chant japa, practicing in this beautiful sangha that we're creating, this beautiful community, then please join us for that. But otherwise, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really grateful to this community and the kind of headway everybody gives. And I like that. Sang Kirtan. Sang means together. So we are going towards the same goal together. So it makes the journey easier than making a lone journey. So I'm very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we'll speak soon, Kirtan Premi. And otherwise, everyone else, take care. Have a blessed day. And let's see you all hopefully for tomorrow at Japa at 1 p.m. or at some point very, very soon. Thank you. All the best.
Okay. Hari.
Haribol.
Haribol.